My name is Minze, and this is a Bulgarian Thai. And welcome to a historic occasion in which, mashallah, Bangladesh beat Pakistan in a test match after the 14th attempt. Get in there, you fucking bandshots. Fucking get in. Oh, it's been a long time coming, but I'm so relieved we finally beat Pakistan in a test match after such a long time. Fucking Jutia bandshots took fucking forever. It's taken nearly 3 decades of my life to witness such a feat, but today, well, not really today, but on Sunday, they were cooking Bangladesh. They were cooking. And for once, you just have to say, well done to the Bangladeshis. Now, if those of you who are not really familiar about what's going on in that country, even I'm not familiar about what's going on in that country, and I'm a Bengali myself. Anyways, yeah, there's been obviously a upheaval of political landscape due to student protests about the fact that they don't get a fair representation of these public sector jobs, and they feel like the current policies are outdated. Obviously, a number of people have sadly lost their lives, so rest in peace to those who sadly, tragically passed away. And with it, there was also some floodings as well. Some more people obviously lost their lives. So again, more prayers and thoughts for those who are sadly not with us. It's not been a pleasant reading for Bengalis, unfortunately. They also obviously have lost the right to host the Women's World Cup, which was due to be played in October, but that's obviously moved to the UAE. But I suppose in all other things that's been happening in the country, that's slightly less of a news thing. But it is a shame for the women's development, of course, for the country, because they could have done with, hosting an actual major tournament. There hasn't been a major tournament hosted in Bangladesh since, I think, the 2014 T20 World Cup. So it's a shame that, we don't get to host it, but I suppose in the grand scheme of things, a switch to the UAE was probably more safer and more warranted for the competition in general. But aside from all the turmoil that's been happening on the Bangladeshi soil, to get a win in Pakistan, in Rawalpindi, in conditions that are not familiar to the Bangladeshi cricketers, is an amazing achievement. A lot will be pointed out to Pakistan's insufficiencies rather than pointing out to Bangladesh's efficiency, but I think that it will be a bit unkind on Bangladesh to say this was all Pakistan's inability to close out the game. I'll tell you why, to be fair. I think a lot of people are getting a little bit carried, like, I say a lot of people, I suppose a lot of the Pakistani cricketing supporters are a little bit annoyed. I say a little bit, they're massively annoyed with the ineffective team management, the fact that the players they selected weren't cut up to the job. They're worried about Babar Azam's form and cricket in general. The fact that they failed to deploy another spinner, whereas Bangladesh had 2 in the team. And then, of course, the infamous declaration. First and foremost, I don't think the declaration was a bad thing. You have to understand, if you have been following Bangladesh cricket, their form in Test has been atrocious. In fact, their form in general has been atrocious across all 3 formats. But if you're looking into Test cricket in general, we've only had decent results against Ireland and Afghanistan. No disrespect to you guys. but they're not even including the Test Championship cycle. We had a decent win against New Zealand in Mirpur, but then we failed in the second test. We threw it away. We gave the advantage away. We had New Zealand in a pressure cooker situation, and then we bottled it, Tottenham Hotspur style, and let them get away with it, But the batting is atrocious. I don't think they've crossed 200 in a test innings in either the first or the second innings. I actually can't remember the last time they crossed 200. All right, so Pakistan declaring on 448 on the second day is not exactly the worst thing in the world. Like, when I saw that declaration, I went, yeah, fair enough. All right, little bit arrogant, little bit cocky of them, saying that they're massive Pakistan and we're minor little Bangladeshi swimming in the sea with fishies and whatnot. But little bit of arrogance there, but it's not exactly the worst declaration in the world. And with Pakistanis fast bowlers above and beyond Bangladeshis, I did suspect that they would probably lose the test match, if not by the end of day 4, close to the end of day 4. All right, and I think that's what the thinking was, and it's a fair assumption. Let's be honest, let's be realistic. It's a fair assumption. All right, but they didn't envisage that our two openers would survive the day on 27 for naught, and I think they were really gutted they didn't get anyone out. Then on the third day, it was 316 for 5, and there were some incredible contributors. Sadman Islam getting 93. All right, for an opener to, actually make a statement is actually pretty decent. Then not only that, Momin ul Haq, 50. Brilliant. Former captain, was losing confidence in himself, wasn't getting the runs when he was the captain. Dropped the captaincy and he's back again. Was a bit unlucky with his dismissal. And then, as usual, Mushi, our Mr. Dependable, 191 runs. I feel so sad that he missed out on a double 100 or the double century by 9 runs. It's a bit of a tragic one, that one. But he batted so well and so stoically. Litton Das and his blitzkrieg over 56. Mehedi coming in at number 8, scoring 77. Fantastic. Even Soriful's 22. These little things, I think, undermined Pakistan a tiny wee bit. Put them on the back burner. They were 448 runs ahead and thinking we got this. So even Soriful's little cameo just added on the pressure, and suddenly they were facing an unexpected 117 run deficit. And I think it got to them that, how did this happen? And I think the reason why Pakistan kind of fucked up slightly over here, it was all on day 5, they all fucked it up on day 5, was they're trying to force a result. They're trying to force a result. Now, if you told every Bangladeshi player over there whether you'd rather play out for a draw, I think they would have taken it. I think they would have, shaken your hands and taken it. All right, they wouldn't have, I think, forced away for a result, like try to attempt to chase 250 or 300 in the space of like 2.5 sessions. All right, I don't think they would have gone out of their way to try and do that. I'll be honest with you. I think Pakistan were looking for a result so bad that they were playing shots that they wouldn't play. All right, to see Miraj getting 4 for 21 and Shakib on 3 for 44 on a pitch that was supposedly a tarmac and a batting friendly paradise, it says something. It either says that the bowling was amazing or that the Pakistanis really were looking for something they shouldn't have. It's a bit of both. Because the quality was there in the Bangladeshi bowling. The quality was definitely there. But there was an element of Pakistani surprise. They weren't expecting it, and it just got to them. And that's what I think was the undoing of Pakistan's demise. Of course, facing 30 runs to win the match, the two openers handled it majestically and wonderfully, composed, didn't panic, got there with 10 wickets. What a victory. And what does this victory mean? It means a lot. It means a lot in the grand scheme of things. Now, it will only be Bangladesh if these Chutia Ramjadas end up playing the next test match in Rawalpindi again and end up losing by an innings and 450 runs like they usually fucking do. I can see it happening. But there's one little statistic to worry about for every Pakistani. They haven't won a home test match since 2021. And you got to ask yourself, that's quite a funny statistic. You got to ask yourself, that is a funny statistics. And it is quite funny watching the meltdown on Twitter. It is hilarious. Like, it is comical. It's comical. They shouldn't be losing to a Bangladesh side. They really shouldn't. Like, New Zealand won there with only like one specialist spinner, and Sri Lanka came there and absolutely wiped the floor with us. You know, and this was at home. Bangladesh don't have another home series until South Africa next year. All right, all of our remaining Future Chores program are away from home. So it's absolutely comical that they lost to a Bangladesh side at home, considering the bowlers and batters they have over there are class above the Bangladeshis. But there's one thing you can't fault the Bangladeshis is the spirit and the actual resolve. And they actually played proper test cricket. Most of the times I see them play test cricket, it's like they're playing T20. I'm like, dude, you got 5 overs and like around about 90 overs per day. I don't know why you're rushing. For once they played part the bus cricket. They actually blocked, kept the Pakistanis out, got them frustrated. That's the way you play test cricket. And they played the perfect game. And Mushfiqur is and rightly should be the man of the match because he played a perfect game. But I'll give credit to the other batsmen because normally whenever Mushfiqur is using Mr. Dependable, it's probably because he scored 60 or 70 runs in a losing cause. This time he scored 191 runs because people were actually prepared to stay. They're actually prepared to play proper test cricket and take it to the 5th day. And it just put enough pressure on the Pakistanis to bowl them out for a ridiculous score and give us a nice, comfortable, juicy win. I wish they would do this on a consistent basis, and I hope they do it because they've got the blueprint for it. Now carry on with it. But let's see. This will be before the second test. I've got to say there's something that's really irking me about this whole bullshit of, you know, having demerit points for slow over rates, and I think the ICC need to have a serious rethink about this. Fine, Shakib's one, I accept. It was silly. I don't know why he threw the ball back because he wasn't ready. That's just Shakib all over. His immaturity is coming into play, but I don't want to bash him too much because he's been a stalwart for Bangladesh, and what he did over there was amazing. I've got a bloody cricket shirt of his name and number on my back, so respect to you, Shakib. But why were Pakistan demerited that many points, and why were we demerited that many points? Hello, we were playing spinners after spinners after spinners in both the first and second innings. You have to understand this. We were playing a shitload of spinners. They were going through their over rates at a quickened amount of pace. Fair enough, the Pakistanis only had one specialist spinner in that team. The rest of them were all pacers. But hello, you have to acclimatize to the fact that it's Rawalpindi. It's really, really, really hot, okay, and humid, and it's really testing conditions. Yes, it's test cricket. I get that, but come on, for Christ's sakes, man. Like, these are fast bowlers. Like, give them a break. Like, it's the same regulated drinks breaks and whatnot in test cricket, yeah, in any air condition. But this is Rawalpindi. It's hot, humid, yucky. All right, like, you've got the fans sitting in the stands with umbrellas. That's how hot it was. Like, it is going to be a bit slow, understandably so, from both teams. But why you decided to duck that many points to Pakistan, I'll never know. And why you bunged us over a couple of points, I really don't understand. Especially when we were playing spinners, and I didn't think they were too slow, in my opinion. You know, that's something for the ICC to sit on their own asses for. But anywho, there you go. That is a slight dampener on Bangladesh's victory, but hey, it doesn't take away anything really. It just means that they won't probably reach the final. Not that Bangladesh had any chance of reaching the final, I'll be honest with you. But nonetheless, we are one win closer. From what I understand, for them to reach the semi-finals, they'll have to win basically every single game left, or win every game except 2, and those 2 have to be draws. So yeah, I don't think we're playing in the World Test Championship final next year anyway, but you never know. 1 win closer. Now we either have to draw or win the other one. Can it be done? Well, statistics say Pakistan, like I said, they haven't won a game at home since 2021, so anything can happen. Anywho's, this is Minaz. Peace. Now fuck off.